Hola, it's your girl here. I have a thought that comes to my mind. I just want to explain something to you. I want you to be able to, as you're doing your self-love, self-first journey, I need you to be mindful that everyone around you is not going to agree with the way you live. And you know what? It's okay. Do not take on their way of viewing you as if what you're doing is a bad thing. Especially when you're loving on you. When you're loving on you, no one is going to understand what you need personally. Like, I've experienced it, and I kid you not, it was the most surprising thing ever when I realized that the people that were around me on a daily basis really were the ones who pushed me away the worst. And not needless to say that it was family or friends. It's just people that I was around on a daily basis, and I expected for those to be the people to support me the most, and it was actually the opposite. And I had to learn how not to be surprised about this, because if you really think about it, the people that are around you on a daily basis, guess what? They're used to you being at a certain way, a certain level, a certain being, a certain flow, and then all of a sudden you change that flow and you start operating differently. For them, it's kind of like a shock because they're not used to that. They used to you being who you are, and they're like, don't change. Like, you're changing the mechanism that we have here. But what you got to understand is that you're not living for people. You're living for yourself. And self-love, self-first is a self-love, self-first journey. You're on your journey. You're not on someone else's journey. You're on your time. You're not on someone else's time. So either they're going to support you or they don't. And to be honest with you, I had the opportunity to really see who supports me and who doesn't. And the ones who don't support you, you really don't want them around you anyway. To be honest with you, you don't want them around you, because then you start to realize how tainted they are. And that's a possibility of how tainted you were at one time, because a lot of people who are jealous and a lot of people who are not supporting you, it's kind of sort of like they're like the mirror image of who you are, who you were. And if you're trying to make changes, you need to quiet yourself down and pay attention to the things that they're saying, because they're just mirroring who you used to be and who you don't want to be anymore. So when I started to see these things, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is how I was? Oh no, we got to do better. And of course, you know, with certain people, you're like, yo, I'll snap back. Like, you don't take me back to how I used to be. But truthfully speaking, you should choose not to be how you used to be. So there is a point in time when there's going to be people around you where you're going to want to spaz on them. You're going to want to, you know, it gets real tense, and you need to be able to sense these scenarios where you don't get tensed. You gotta watch these scenarios to make sure that you don't overreact yourself. If someone else is yelling, someone else is mad, someone else is doing whatever they're doing, XYZ, and it's irate, and it's not a commanded personality, and it's not, how would you say, an official trait that they should be it's not an official trait that they should actually be doing on a daily basis. Well, leave them in their muddy puddle and you get out of it. You change. You be the better person. Don't fall victim to anyone else's attitudes, because at the end of the day, once you fall victim to those attitudes, you're just bringing down all that inner work that you did, all that meditation you done did, all that goodness that you done invested into you. You just basically wasted it on someone who's not even worth it. You understand? So when you're on a self-love, self-first journey, you must be serious about yourself. Respect yourself. Know that you are not going to go back to how you used to be. You're not going to go back and tap into that nasty attitude. Or maybe you weren't like that, but someone is trying to drive it out of you. You understand? These people out here, they got some rudeness in them. They're miserable, and they want to make everybody miserable with them. Don't follow that shit. Don't follow that shit. Don't fall victim to the nonsense. And this is serious. You understand? Because they make you do bad because they're fucked up. Don't you follow them. You understand? Trust and believe you are going to thank yourself. And you know what's going to happen slowly but surely? Those people who are giving you a hard time, those people who are not really relating with you anymore, those people who don't trust you, they want to make it seem like you're the one who's bad. Those people who want to make it seem like you're the one who changed and changing is a bad thing, they're going to fall right off. And they're going to go down their lane and they are going to reap the karma that they created. Because when you're a person who is trying to be or is working on yourself, you're doing good for yourself. You're doing good for the world. You're taking care of what your responsibility is as an individual. Because every single body on this earth has a responsibility to be and act a certain way. And that is coming from a place of love. And when you choose not to vibrate on that frequency and make all your decisions out of love, but instead of through jealousy, through fear, through worry, through anger, through rage, through resentment, you know, those things you get paid back for that. That's not like you get away with it. It may seem like they get away with stuff like that, but trust and believe they don't. Those types of people, they don't last forever. You understand? So mark my word when I tell you this. Everybody reaps what they sow. You put something out, you're gonna get it back. You may not get it back immediately. And some people, their karma is right there, right on their tail. Right on their tail. And they don't even know why it's happening to them. I remember a story that was told, I think it was like on a stand-up comedy. I really don't know who said this, but somebody said it. I went to like one of those comedy shows, and somebody came out and said something about, you know what's crazy, how karma works? Karma works in weird ways. They say that there's people who out here doing wrong. They said that they went to a store, right? They went to a store and stole something. And by the time that they came home, their experience was not being able to find their keys to open the door. They realized that experience alone reset them to the position of understanding that what you put out, you will get back in return. And that scenario is just like this. You end up paying for what you stole. Like literally, you end up paying for what you stole. Okay? And I don't think you want something minute at a store for you to pay for. What is it to change a lock at a door? Probably like $100 to get the locksmith to come and open up your door. Like that can be the most expensive item that you stole in the store, just trying to replace your lock because your karma's right at your tail. Like, come on, what we doing out here? We got to do better. So overall, I just feel like self-love, self-first is one of the best journeys that you can ever invest into yourself. It's an investment and it should be practiced on a daily basis. I know you notice I'm not sitting here speaking about going to church and God and stuff like that. I do believe of a higher power, but I will not sit here and linearize myself. Linearize. Why I can't say that word? Why? Okay, I'm not gonna subject myself or box myself in to be one way, follow one religion, because this world is way too massive and way too beautiful to be following one way of doing things. You understand? This is all I can explain it like this. You get one address, right? Why is it that there's so many different ways to get to that same address? Right? So if there's many ways to get to one address, why would I put myself in a box and say that I need to go to church and follow this one specific religion in order for me to be the greatest human in the world? You don't need that. You don't need what they call a religion for you to be the greatest person in this earth, or to love this earth, or to love yourself. You need to have action. You understand? I'm not going to clout off of telling people that I go to church so you can believe that I'm a good person. No. I'm gonna do and you're gonna watch it. And that's how I stand up. You understand? I'm gonna do and you're gonna watch it. Okay? So listen, as always, self-love, self first at all times. Okay?